Thank you for the brief introduction, Catherine. So before we start, I would just say thank you to Catherine and Abbas, not just because I'm being here today, but we met in the Youth Summit back in July in Istanbul. And since then, I think the communication didn't stop. And even during the war in Beirut, they were constantly checking up and making sure everything is right. So thank you so much for all of this. So today, I don't think it's going to be like a sort of speech or like any storytelling. It's just like I have some notes to discuss that maybe you will take it into consideration later on during your day. So first of all, I would like to talk about the importance of laws and how it affects our mental health. So the first point is the isolation. And by isolation, I mean for the current government in Lebanon, but also about the political system that has been integrated in the society and the state for over 40 years. In order to stay in power, they divide society into communities or categories. And then, because this is not even enough, we divide categories into subcategories. And then we make people feel that these categories or subcategories have to fight each other and they are the enemy of each other, so they can forget about the real problem or the main issue. For example, for a lot of people who are far right and ultranationalists, they believe that people who are, let's say, who wants to get the citizenship from their mother are their enemy and they are trying to change the demography of the society. But also we make feel that even with this community, we divide, for example, religious people. We make them feel that if these people get their citizenship, they will ask for more women's rights. So they will affect, like, for example, religious beliefs. And then we bring the LGBTQ issue into consideration. And then we even try to deconstruct this sub-community. And once we are able to do that, these people will feel isolated. And here, laws have to step in. Because when one community feels stronger than the other community, when one sub-community feels that they need to be the leader of this community, other people will feel isolated, and then they will become easily target for discrimination. Because again, the laws do not protect them. And here, speaking about the laws, I think everyone knows that Lebanon have been through a very oppressed and aggressive war in the past few months. And for certain people that we are talking about, the affected people, the affected youth, they were oppressed by the enemy, which is something I would not say normal, but it's something predictable to be oppressed by your own enemy. But also these people are oppressed by their own government because the government fails to actually protect them through laws and create all the subcategories and the sub-communities. But also we as like the state or the political system puts a lot of pressure on these people and the constant of proving themselves, not just to the political system, but also for the entire society, that they are Lebanese or not. And here where I would like to say that no one has to prove to anyone if they are Lebanese or not. And here we hear sometimes affected youth saying, for example, I am more Lebanese than this person. I am more Lebanese because I do 1, 2, 3. And here is the biggest mistake because these people do not have to prove this anything. It doesn't matter if I'm more Lebanese than Abbas. Abbas is more Lebanese than me. If I love Fairuz more than him, if he loves hummus more than me, this doesn't matter. These are feelings, these are actions that actually change with time. For example, in the past, I think 30 years, my feelings for belonging to Lebanon or not have changed a lot. And recently in the war, for example, I felt like more in, and before that, I felt more out. So these things change because these are feelings. But there's only one fact that haven't changed over the past 30 years, that the fact is my mother is Lebanese. And the fact that my mother is Lebanese is enough for me to have the citizenship. I don't have to go into examination. I don't have to go into a competition to prove myself that, yes, I'm a Lebanese more than this, I deserve this. I don't have to do this. So this constant pressure that we created on those affected people will affect their mental health later on, because they will feel like no matter what I do, no matter what I say, I will always not be enough. I have to always be the good person. If anyone watched Turkish series, this person has to be like this little girl that she goes to school, she wears uniforms. So he doesn't even have to express himself whenever, even if he has a problem with society. And the third note we need to talk about is people usually talk about demographic change, and that if affected people from these laws will ever get the right, they will change demography. But the reality that many of the affected people, individuals, are already part of the society. I think many of you right now, people who are sitting in this summit, have met, talked, ate, went out with people who are affected by this laws, and they wouldn't even know that they are different or not. So they are part of the society. They have been integrated in society in a very civilized way. And so if you really want to keep bringing up the demographic change, then assalamu alaikum, it has already been done before. And again, we need to stop putting the narrative that these people are aliens, that they come from another society, another civilization, and they will deconstruct this current society. Because again, they are part of it, whether you like it or not. And the last part of this, the greatest gift that any country can give is the sense of home, the sense of belonging. Imagine, I think everyone in the room is looking for home, and I think even if it's away apart from our countries or where we are born, but we always need home because this is human nature. And imagine that you find home away from your parents, away from your friends, your memories. That's really sad. And for policymakers, for politicians, history will always remember. And we have seen in the past couple of days when the Assad regime was fallen, everyone remembered them as bad person or bad politician. And this is not going to change anytime soon. So either you go into history as the people who didn't discriminate and really gave people their rights, or it's going to be really tough and you will be on the other side of history, which is, again, really sad. And for like people who defend their rights, for organizations, never lose hope, because again, I will give an example about the Syrian revolution, that even when it was at the weakest phase, people thought that the revolution doesn't even exist, it came back stronger. So even if sometimes we face some challenges, sometimes we face oppression, it's fine. Like, we will get always back stronger, because I will say this in Arabic, and I hope someone can correct me. I think لا يموت حق لشخص, something like this. I really forgot about that. It means that no one's rights is going to die. And I firmly believe in that. So again,